ADC is the most unfun role in all of League of Legends.
For years,
oh yeah, it needs to be quieter.
The ADC the most OP, inflated role in the entire game with a crybaby player base that was just mad that they weren't good enough to carry.
That's what he thought, but here he is stuck in diamond, he can climb.
And for years, I genuinely believed it. It even got to the point where one of my most infamous leak clips of all time is me talking about how the only thing ADCs do is complain every season. Editor, play the clip. Dantes, is this the worst season for ADC, yes or no? Every season's the worst fucking season for ADCs, apparently. Every season! ADC's so weak! ADC's so weak! And then they're
Okay, I'll turn it down even more, guys, sorry.
the 1v9 every game. Every ADC is above 50% win rate. Anyone who's even borderline Cuban 1v9ing every game. Every meta is bot meta. Everyone always has to play for bot
Oh my
lane.
God.
Play for dragons. ADC's weak. ADC's weak. My support hinted. Fuck you.
Yeah, so, yeah, I guess that's what he believed. He tried, it didn't work out, right? I mean, I can respect a man for saying shit about the role, playing the role, doing poorly, and then being like, oh, wait. Yeah, ADC is so hard to play. Maybe you guys were right to complain. You know, I can respect it. I can respect it. You know, yeah, it's okay to be wrong. There's nothing wrong with that.
So, as you guys can see, a lot of pent-up aggression.
But yeah, seriously, why doesn't he get a better microphone? I'm just like, I don't think, like, I think people will thank you. You're gonna have more viewers if you get better microphone. You don't have to scream like this in your mic to get attention. Come on, you already have so many eyes on you. You don't need it. Oh, whatever.
Aggression towards the role. Now, if you've gone on Reddit at any point over the last 2 days, that clip will have surprised you because you've probably seen this post. In it, it talks about how, after 2 months of playing bot lane, I'm hard stuck and at a breaking point. And over the course of the entire post, it quotes tweets that I've made talking about how unfun the role feels. And instead of sitting here and making excuses, or telling you guys that's not what I really meant, or say that Reddit is taking things out of context, instead I'll say that they're 100% right. I can
Alright. Oh, that's crazy.
unequivocally, without a shadow of a doubt, tell you that after almost 600 games of playing ADC, this is the most unfun role in the entire game. Before
For you, and for a lot of people. For me, ADC role is the most fun role because I'm a very patient person. If I'm patient, I get rewarded. I'm okay to go 0-0-0 in my lane if it's a hard lane instead of flipping the lane. And then I actually get my items, I can actually deal damage and do things. It's just a different experience than playing, I don't know, Hecarim. And you just stat check people. If you don't, oh, whatever, you died, who cares? It's different. It's different. You need to play around your range. As ADC, you need to deal damage and not take damage. And that's very hard for somebody that plays melee all their life. It's very hard to grasp that concept. So it's understandable that he can't really do it. And it's very unfun for him. Of course, you know?
Before we continue, let me give you guys a little breakdown of my league experience. I have about 20 to 30,000 games on jungle.
Jesus.
Back in season 10,
20 to 30, oh my god.
I peaked Grandmaster on Hecarim mid and top lane only without playing a single game of jungle. And whenever I get filled support in Grandmaster, Master, Challenger games, I most of the time always win. So going into this challenge, the only role that I knew that I never really...
I mean, you say you almost always win when you get filled. But it's like, how often do you even get filled? It's not enough games to say you're actually doing well, you know?
Experienced was Marksman and ADC. My only real experience with Marksman was playing Kindred for a couple thousand games, but even on Kindred, most of the time I can barely average a positive win rate. And let me just tell you, it is absolutely miserable. To clarify just one point before we continue, I don't think that ADC is necessarily weak. I just think...
Yeah, it's just different. It's not weak. Right now, I feel like ADC right now and the game itself is quite balanced. Yeah, I'm happy with the state of League of Legends right now. I just wish there were more changes, because changes are fun, you know? But, you know, that's just me. A lot of people like the game to not have changes, because finally we can actually understand the game and learn the game. We don't have changes non-stop. You will learn what this item does, they change. This item does something different now. What the hell? What am I supposed to do? That's a lot of players, you know? But I like changes personally. That's just me, you know?
Think that it is so unfun and mind-numbing to play that it makes it feel infinitely weaker than it actually is. You see, when you're playing other roles, there are a multitude of ways that you can get resources. Top laners can go for TP plays or roams out of base.
Okay.
Junglers can gank, invade, secure neutrals. Mid laners can shove and roam, TP, or even roam out of base. And supports, as we know, love leaving bot lane, so they're always going to be out looking for their missing dad. But the
What the hell, bro?
issue with bot lane is that you can't do any of that. Your agency in the game is limited to just how much you don't die. That
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you don't die, you are very useful. Because if you don't die, you get resources. Like you push top 2 waves, you die taking the turret. Well, at least you took 2 waves, and then you push the wave, you respawn, you get the wave again. But as ADC, if you die, they push mid wave, you lost that entire wave. So it makes sense, right? It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, not dying is very OP on ADC. It's so important.
that's the extent of the role. Just don't die. For every other
It's not just that, but it's a big part of it, yes.
role in
You get rewarded for not dying.
the game, there are ways to get ahead in the early, mid, and late game that work independently of your team. These can work in the way of engaging team fights, flanking, teleport plays, split pushing, or even setting up traps in bushes with CC and things like that. But the issue with ADC is that you are afforded none of these options. None
Yeah, and you know why that's okay? That's okay because it's a team game, right? And if you as an ADC are better than the enemy ADC at doing your job, aka dealing damage and staying safe, you will win, right? I mean, here you could say, you could pick a mage, so you just win against every ADC, but at the same time, ADCs in a fight can do things that other roles cannot. What other ADC can just destroy the entire team? You play Jinx. You're just destroying them with basic attacks. You are dealing so much DPS, consistent damage. Mages don't have consistent damage. They have cooldowns and stuff. They burst and they kind of wait around, you know? ADCs have the most damage in the game. Delivering the damage is hard, but it's also fun. Because if you do it correctly, you are rewarded properly, you know? So it's very high risk, very high reward role. That's ADC in a nutshell.
None of the ADC champs are really engaged champs that can just go in and wreak havoc single-handedly.
Yeah, but they're not supposed to do that. They're supposed to play around the team, right? ADCs are supposed to adapt to what's happening around them. And if something looks bad, you say no to the fight, you do something else instead. It's a skill. You gotta do it. If you can't do that, you're just gonna join the fight and never scale, right?
You also can go for flanks, or else you're going to be getting shot out of the sky.
That's true.
Teleport isn't a rune that's ever taken on 99% of the roster. And if you ever try to split push...
Yeah, you can't really take TP because you're not gonna side lane anyway, so you don't need it. And you're weaker with TP because you don't have a defensive spell, which is so important on ADCs that are so fragile.
Or shove lanes alone, then chances are you're going to get four-man by the Avengers, and you're
not even gonna get 4-man if you side lane on ADC. That's another thing with ADC. If you side lane, one enemy is enough to kill you, be it their jungler, their mid or top, or even the enemy ADC sometimes, especially if you play a scaling champion. Even the enemy ADC can just destroy you 1v1. Don't want to 1v1 on ADC, not Jinx. ADC in general. You're not made for it.
back to base before you can say fuck. When for years people used to talk to me about lack of ADC agency in the game, I used to say they were coping. But after actually playing the role, I know exactly what they mean. Because the problem is that you seriously can't do anything on your own. And I don't just think it's streamer debuff either of people going out of their way to focus me, but it just...
Nah, that's bullshit. course.
It really sucks that you have to make sure that either your jungle or your support are on the same page of you, if not even both. Because if they're not, you are not allowed to even walk up for the wave.
Yeah, that's basic. That's true. Yeah, that's how it is.
As a jungle's game is played on camps, neutrals, and ganks, or a support's game is played on engaging fights, roaming, or top laner's game is based upon split pushing, flanking, and engaging, an ADC's game is entirely based around waiting for something to happen and then just reacting.
That's not necessarily 100% true. Because there are always things you can do as an ADC. Like for example, like people underestimate how much pushing mid wave means in mid to late game. Like if you're there to push that mid wave every time, you apply so much pressure on the enemies. Because now they have to choose between, do we defend the mid wave that was pushed, or do we just lose it and go to the thing that's happening? And if you do that, then maybe, you know, now we lose mid turret and we lose resources, and it's just it's crazy, you know. And you can always, like, exactly, you can ping as an ADC while you're taking the wave. Your mental stack is not overloaded. You're taking the wave, cool. In the meantime, look at the map and think about what's happening around the map, and you can make calls. You can make calls, ping a lot. You can do that if you want. Or there are ADCs like Ashe. You can always ult with Ashe, ult with Varus to engage. You can do that if you want, right? If that playstyle is better suited for you. So this is not necessarily true. There are always things you can do. And legit, like, pushing mid is underestimated. It's just so OP. You just imagine you play chess and you control the middle of the board. Yeah, it's insane. You're winning a lot of times in that position.
You can very rarely, if ever, start the fights. You cannot shove out waves alone. You really just can't do anything. Unless you're being escorted by your entire team, then you just need to sit there, take the L on waves, which is the only way that you're gonna get gold anyways, unless a fight breaks out, and then just pray for the best.
Take a wave, like an L on waves, but what's stopping you from taking mid wave, right? Yeah, sometimes the mid wave will be contested. Allies are not nearby, enemies are missing, you don't take the wave. You wait for the enemies push the wave, you get it later, it's okay. But a lot of the times you see people make this mistake so often where enemies, I could even show you this on the map. It's that good of an example. I'll just bring out my map here. And we can just take a look here together. That, let's say this is me, the blue dot, the B bot lane, right? You see teammates, you know, there's a Drake fight about to happen. Enemies are kind of looking for it as well. And you know that, hey, this looks like a stalemate. Mid waves are coming in. They're about here now. If you right now go here to grab the wave, right? Think about it from the enemy perspective now. They gotta, like, maybe do this, and now you can join the fight. Or if they ignore it, you could push mid. It's insane what you can do. And these are the moments where you can actually step up when nobody else would. You gotta have the balls to say, no, it's a stalemate, doesn't look good, we don't have it engaged properly. I'll just do that. You know, just an example, whatever. In a real game is different. If the engage already happened, maybe you gotta join the fight. But when there's nothing happening, nobody engaged the objective anyway, this is such a powerful move. You can do that. Not enough people do. And now you just apply so much pressure on them, you're kind of like squishing them, you see? And guess what? I mean, if you see them, you can push. You know, knowledge is power in League of Legends. You don't need to be escorted every time you get the mid wave because you have knowledge. You watch the map constantly. You see what's happening around you. You can just count how many enemies there are and where they are, and you can just do crazy things as well.
And I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, but Dantes, we already knew this. On Jutu's filter challenger climb, he had a 46% win rate on ADC.
Damn, look at that. Damn, yeah, ADC is not forever.
Whenever any other jungle content creators do ADC challenges, they never make it out of Masters, if even Diamond. And whenever you see any actual challenger ADC mains doing any kind of unranked challenger, they are always do it with either a support or a jungle. But
I mean, I don't do, but maybe I'm just a weird one. I should maybe abuse the OQ because it's crazy OP, but I prefer to like improve at the game, and when you play with a duo, you don't really improve at the game, you know, because the league is very individual. Yeah, you might play better with a duo, but that's not the real game.
But I thought I knew the secret. I thought the reason why all these people weren't finding success with the role wasn't because it was actually weak, but it was because they weren't building properly. But the truth is that no matter what you build, the agency just isn't there because builds aren't gonna affect your actual impact within the game.
True.
I know that's a bit of a confusing...
Well, not true. True, but not true. To a certain point, true, but you know, it's like they have Zed and Rengar. Yeah, if you buy GA, it's gonna help, right? There are things you can do with your build, of course.
Statement, so let me break it down. If I'm playing a champion like Draven, for example, and I get to have 3,000 health versus 2,000 health, if I'm walking up to the mid wave alone, or if I'm trying to split push, or if I'm trying to engage fights, I'm still just gonna die no matter what.
Yeah,
so
true.
no matter what my builds are, the fundamental issue with marksmen as a class is that they're just not allowed doing anything on their own. I went from locking in Hecarim every game and being able to look at a team comp and say, yeah, I can one-shot 4 of them, to playing a marksman, and if I ever try to walk up for a wave, I have to think to myself, are all 5 of the enemy members on the map? No? Oh, I guess I'm gonna die to all of the missing ones then. And I'm...
Yeah, so you don't go get a wave, you wait. You analyze. You wait for your moment, right? It's a skill, it takes time to learn. It's not normal. When you play the other role, it's not as normal.
telling you, it just really sucks. When the CIA...
It does suck though. Sometimes it does suck, like you cannot do anything on the map. It feels so bad. It's so horrible. Then one teammate dies for, I don't know, warding an objective that nobody's on anyway. And it's like you're 4v5, and then it's like, what the hell do you do? It's just so annoying. Yeah, it happens.
wants to torture people, they shouldn't be waterboarding them. They should just be putting them on Draven bot lane with a Nautilus support against a Tristana Yumi and force them to watch as their jungler decides that he's gonna path top for the Malphite versus Scion lane, and then the enemy at least is 3 camping you at 2 minutes.
I mean, is that torture? No, that's just part of the game. And you gotta do your best to waste enemy's time in that situation, right? It's okay.
For literal years, I never understood how every ADC could hate their jungler to the point that they did. But I'm telling you, I get it now. I think
when it comes to the jungler, though, I think I want to mention this. He says that jungler should path bot all the time, and I actually kind of disagree. Yeah, in solo queue, maybe as the jungler you should do it, because a lot of ADCs are crybabies, right? But from my perspective, what I do is I play differently when my jungler is bot side compared to when my jungler is top side. If my jungler is top side, he's literally invading top side, there's no sign of the enemy jungler, I'm gonna play more safe on bot. Yeah. I can't know, hey, look, this is what's happening around me, this is what my teammates are doing, I need to adapt and make a new plan. Even though I win 2v2, I cannot fight right now because we might be 2v3. And that's part of, you know, being a good ADC. It's a different experience than playing jungle, for sure.
I think for me, the reason why I never understood is because I was my jungler every game. And I knew that I'd be pathing bot in 95% of my games, I'd be securing Dragon Soul, and I'd 1v9 with any leads given. But after playing in the absolute elo hell that High Emerald Diamond 4 is, the amount of war crimes that I've witnessed make me view the people that play jungle differently now. What do you mean you're gonna play Zyra jungle and get outfarmed by the Wukong that's gonna have 3 dragons at 18 minutes while you secure grubs? What do you mean you're not gonna skip your grump to just gank bot on the timer that would allow you to get a free double kill because you want to get that extra 4 CS? What do you mean we're not gonna dive the enemy ADC that's alone when we see that the support is roaming and we have a 3 stacked wave?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the times when you think about the team, right, let's think about the team for a second, okay? How is a team supposed to work? You have, let's say, top laner is usually an engaged champion, and then you have the mid laner, maybe a mage or something, jungler could be also an engage or something different, a fighter, and then you have the ADC that's doing damage and that's it, and then a support that's supposed to help the ADC, right? So as you can see, like, we have roles in League of Legends. Somebody's supposed to do engage, somebody's supposed to peel and everything. But when you think about it in a team fight, Which role usually wins team fights? The ADC. Because the ADC has the most amount of damage consistently in a fight. So if you play around ADC, you play around your damage, all you need to do is keep them alive and they win the game for you. So that's the thing. It makes sense that you want to play around ADC as a jungle, as a support, as a mid lane, top lane, whatever. Play around your ADC, they're just going to win for you. Because you literally keep them alive, they right click, they win. But a lot of people don't understand that. And also in League of Legends, the game is balanced in such a way that every role has agency. Because otherwise you play tank top with 0 damage and you just CC people to peel your ADC. Sure, in a team play, environment, it's fun. But in solo queue, it's not as fun to play Mundo and not be able to kill anyone and just run around there, be a mid shield. Not a lot of people like that, and in solo queue is not that good for the game. It's less fun, less healthy. You want to do things on your own as well. And if you only have tankiness and peel for ADC, but you don't deal any damage, then you can do anything by yourself as a tank. And suddenly it's a problem, right? But ADC is the role that it's acceptable to not be able to do anything on your own because you are so strong with your teammates together. But yeah, imagine a real world, like in a perfect world, everybody plays for ADCs. ADCs become like monsters. They have so much gold, so many resources. It's insane what you can do. And if you don't play around them, your ADC has a bad time on bot. Yeah, the game is going to be a lot harder. You won't have damage in your team. You won't win fights because nobody's dealing damage.
It is absolutely infuriating. The truth is that junglers are the captain of the ship that sails down Summoner's Rift. And every single game nowadays is played around dragons. Since Baron only spawns at 25 minutes, if you secure a dragon at anywhere between 5 to 8 minutes, then you're already going to be playing for Soul before Baron even spawns. So the fact
it's crazy to think about it. It's insane. Like Dragon Soul wins like 70 to 80% of games. You wanna play for Drakes, it's so good.
This day, junglers still decide to path top or not prioritize dragons or trade dragon for grubs is insane to me. I've been saying it for years, guys. The game is played around dragons and bot lane. So there's absolutely no reason why you should ever do anything else.
Everybody wants to be the main character, And in League of Legends makes sense because if you can be the main character and play jungle, play top, play for yourself, get CS, kill enemies, it's fun. It's fun. Having to play every game for the ADC, that's the only damage dealer in the game, that's less fun. Because why do people play League? To fight. Fighting is fun. Killing enemies in game is fun. Getting kills is fun. That's what everybody wants to do. So if we suddenly make the game around the ADC, it's not fun anymore. People don't want to play anymore. How do they play? Like, legit. Like, what? Like, look in any game like Overwatch and other games like Overwatch and so on. Marvel Rivals got released recently. So many people want to pick damage champions. Because people like to deal damage. Yeah. And in the League of Legends, everybody deals damage. Except ADCs deal a bit more over time, but they are squishier. That's the difference. And I think that's fine. It's alright. I think it's good. I think it's healthy for the game.
Will allow you to get a little more gold from pushing turrets. Dragons are going to allow you to get Dragon Soul, which is a win condition that's going to auto-win you the game 90% of the time. It's a no-brainer. And don't get me started on the supports. Holy shit! The amount of games that I've had where we 2v2 kill the enemy bot lane, and then my support decides that he's gonna find the portal to Narnia mid or top, and then I end up having to sit there and either die or play AFK under my turret for a minute and a half is ridiculous. Spoiler alert, Pike! If your Draven is 3-0, then no, you should not be randomly ganking the set top lane that's already 0-4 versus a Cho'Gath. Just sit bot!
I mean, fair. I mean, yeah. It's something you have to deal with, What you can do, though, is ping, and hopefully they come back. But if they don't, at least don't die bot. Leave the turret. Give the turret away and go mid or something. You could also do that, It's always an option. But damn, it's so annoying when that happens, that's true.
It's just so insane. And the problem is that they just don't understand. It's like if you're losing bot lane, your support and jungle are both gonna go elsewhere because they don't want to help you. And if you're winning bot lane, they're also gonna go elsewhere because they think they don't need to help you. This role is legitimate mental torture and agony, and
Yes.
I cannot keep playing it anymore. I really
It's not
just
for
can't.
everyone.
So I'll be the first one to say, for all you ADC mains that have been hate watching my climb and that have been looking at me talking about how all you need to do is itemize better and stop complaining, I'll be the first one to say I'm sorry. I understand
Damn.
your pain.
Damn, he said it. What? That's damn. Not a lot of people admit they're wrong. Not a lot of people had the power to admit they were wrong. That's crazy.
And I understand your struggle. And I'm not even just gonna apologize to you guys either. I'm also gonna apologize to every single hard stuck low elo player with bad LP gains that I've ever told just play better to. Because I'm telling you, when you are playing with 5 negative LP gains, so you're gaining 18, losing 23, you literally just hate the game.
Yeah, I mean, the MMR, I mean, this is a bit different. It's a bit separate issue with the MMR. Some people have very bad accounts, very bad MMR. It can happen. The MMR system is very complex in League. Literally, the only thing you can do is play the game. You know, I mean, that's it. Like, you can't really fix MMR without like winning more. I mean, I'm sorry. It's very annoying. It sucks when you get bad LP gains. But if you play enough, they will usually get better. Usually, right? But that's not an excuse. Riot needs to make sure this doesn't happen as often. People having negative gains is horrible. But hey, it happens, right? And right now as well, above Master, is normal to have negative gains. I get like plus 18, plus 19, minus 20-ish, 21. It's normal, right? Of course. Above Master, it makes sense. But below Master, that never makes sense. At least make them even, you know? When somebody has bad gains, it's just very, very annoying to see. Because it just ruins the experience. It feels like you do have extreme win rate. It's like, let's say you're silver. For you to reach gold, you need to play like a platinum player. What? It's so weird. Legit, that's what negative wins, like negative LP gains do. You need to play 500 LP above your current level. And that sucks, because it's hard to improve that fast. It's very annoying.
Because all it takes is a few unlucky losses and you're back to where you started before you 1v9 so much. I swear this challenge must literally feel the same way that all those fitness influencers that have done that fit to fat to fit feel. Like you intentionally make yourself fat just to make yourself fit again. To put this in reference,
People do that? Influencers get fat and then get skinny again? For video content? What the fuck? Bro, I understand doing things for content, but not unhealthy things for your body like that. Oh my god. This is insane. I'm glad I'm not part of that side of the internet.
I've hit Challenger in every single split as a jungler for the last 5 years. So was I expecting to end this challenge with my OPGG looking like this? No, I wasn't. And if you're wondering why the fuck did he play Kale bot, I'm gonna be the first one to say, I don't even know. Yesterday must have been a fever dream or some shit, cause I don't even remember that happening. I literally became the guy that gets shit on by a Kale top lane, and then ends up locking it in his next game ADC, and losing my team the game. But there is a lot of good that came out of this. I know that a lot of people are gonna look at the rank Diamond 4 and they're gonna laugh. And honestly, I would too if I was you.
But think about it, okay? Let's look at this together. Let's just put it up here. If you're Diamond, you're like in the top 3% of players, right? I mean, like we always look here, we always look at Challenger, GM. Everybody looks at this, and maybe Master. But people just forget if you're Diamond, you're in the top 3% of players. You're a very good player. Very, very, very good player. Insanely good player. If you're Emerald, the top 10% of players, you're doing amazing. What? If you're Platinum, you're above average. You know, people always forget that these ranks exist and they're amazing, you know? And then we're on a Silver and Gold. It's like, okay, we are improving at the end of the game. We need to understand kind of more concepts and stuff to get higher, right? But, you know, it's not always about Master and above. Like, Diamond is insanely good. What do you mean?
Challenger jungler calls ADC an easy roll, becomes hard stuck diamond. That's an insane YouTube title. But honestly, I'm proud of myself for sticking it out.
True.
A lot of the people that
I can respect him for doing it. And like, he put like 500 games into it, 400, 500 games. I mean, I can respect that. Yeah, I can respect it. Let's go. He tried, he really did.
Going on these off-roll challenges and not finding success, quit them within 2 to 3 weeks. They see that they're losing games in Emerald or Diamond, they leave it and they're gone. But I really feel like
and then they say they are bored, not skill issue, right? Instead of admitting it's skill issue like Dante's, which is fair. I mean, it's a different role. Of course it's hard. Of course it's gonna be hard to do it.
Fully embraced becoming an ADC. 600 games of this role, and every single game I'm telling my support and jungler to get cancer. So the fact that we actually managed to become a true ADC main, even if we didn't hit the rank of Challenger with it, is progress in and of itself. But the news isn't all bad, because what this role actually did show me is how other laners and other roles feel in regards to their jungler. And
that's true. Like, experimenting with, like, experiencing other roles, it's very healthy. That's why when I get field, I never dodge. So I want to see how other roles feel and how ADC feels from a different role as well. It's very interesting.
Truly honestly think that it's going to level my gameplay up as a Hackermontric, especially from being here to being over here. For years, I would always path bot and play for dragons anyways, but having this new perspective on how my ADC actually wants to play with going for dives, playing for more ganks, and especially with starting off fights so that they can actually be enabled, gives me a lot of new perspective.
Exactly, like ADCs love when teammates go in, but other times it doesn't happen. It's annoying.
And honestly, it's great timing too. With the never-before-seen Unranked to Master Jungle Challenge that we're going to be doing in the middle of July.
Unranked to Master Jungle Challenge? What do you mean challenge? You're challenger. It's not a challenge for you? What?
As well as Korea that we're also going to be doing sometime in August. There was literally no better timing for me to actually train my mental and view the game in a perspective that I never had before to truly level myself up as a player than now. So now I know what you're wondering. Dantes, what's next?
True.
Well,
what's next?
For the 10 days that we have left until our new challenge is going to start, I'm going to be attempting to reclaim the title of Challenger Jungle on my Master 4 LP Decade account.
Wow.
So we're going to treat this next 10 days as a practice arc for the real content that's going to happen in 2 weeks.
Alright.
But with all that being said, I want to thank you guys all so much for watching. Even though the ADC challenge didn't end the way I thought it would when I started out, I can honestly say I don't think I would have changed anything at all. And I know there are going to be some people that are going to watch this video and they're going to say, Dantes, you're giving up though. Why don't you just sit here and why don't you just like actually take the role seriously and play to not die and apply.
I mean, giving up is not bad. Like, if you're not enjoying it, you shouldn't do it. Right?
Everything you've learned in all the coaches and yada yada yada. But the truth is, the reason why I don't want to is because it isn't fun for me.
There you go. Yeah, based. He wants to play jungler has more fun, of course. Yeah, I totally understand that. And we need junglers. We need more junglers that play around bot lane as well, so it's perfect. Let's go.
Especially with my ADHD, the thing that I like most about jungling is the fact that there are always so many options and things to assess that it keeps me stimulated in the game. But the fact that nowadays on ADC,
on ADC, that's such a good point he's bringing here. Actually, such a good point. On ADC, there are moments where doing nothing is the correct play, which is unbelievable for a jungle player. If you do nothing, it's better. What? Mind blow. What the hell? But the sooner you realize that, the better, because you're not gonna int. And you're actually gonna get more resources than if you did something.
Only thing that I really need to ask myself is, do I walk up for the wave or do I not? It just feels really boring, and I don't want to do it anymore. So I'm not saying that D2 peak was the highest we could have achieved. We could have achieved way more than that. But when it came to actually seeing what life as an ADC main was like, I think we got more than our fair share of the experience.
Yeah, I feel like ADC could be boring for like your average Joe playing the game. But there is definitely an audience for ADC players. Like a lot of people like to be ADC and they like to suffer a little bit because whenever you do things and it works out, it's even more satisfying, you know? ADC role has... So let's look at normal role, any other role first. They have, you know, some highs, some lows, it's fun, maybe not fun, but it's very like normal in the middle. But when you play ADC, you have very high highs and very low lows. You wanna commit Sudoku sometimes, and then sometimes you're on top of the world. Which doesn't happen with other roles as much, right?
So, thank you guys all again for tuning in. We might still be having some more videos over the next few days,
Good shit.
showcasing some moments of the ADC climb, but I want you all to expect a lot of bot-centric content that's going to teach you guys how to carry every game as a jungler by just playing off your bot lane. So
He's farming the bot lane. It goes hard. I mean, good video. I'll give you a like. Sure. Go give you a like as well. Why not? I mean, not a lot of people can like admit they were wrong, and I respect him for that. Like legit. Like, at least he's speaking the truth. He's not lying. It's cool. Let's go. You know. But what I really don't like is one thing that I really dislike that he did. He was building very weird, building wrong, and he was teaching people to build wrong and play wrong. You know, he was basically making, in a way, educational content. You know, because look at the majority of league players. What's the majority of league players? Silver, bronze, gold, platinum. They were watching him skyrocket through those ranks at the start of his climb, go crazy climb to emerald and diamond, and people then thought, oh, he's playing like that, escaping silver that I've been stuck in for 2 years. Oh, he's escaping gold that I've been stuck in for 5 years. So I should copy him. Because he did it. Right? And that's what I really don't like. I kind of like debated a lot of people. But besides that, I mean, sure, yeah, fair, right? And yeah, bro, get a better microphone. Jesus, like, look how low the volume is here. It's like 20%. My Windows volume is legit 10%. It's too loud, bro. Stop. Anyway, I'm glad I watched this.